Hey folks, I'm Karyssa.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome to New Strangeland.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another week of New Strangeland. This week we have a very special treat for you guys. We have our first guest. Her name is CryptidBaddie, aka Kenzie, and you can find her on her YouTube channel where she talks about cryptids across the world?
No, just the United States, really.
Just the United States. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I tried to make you sound bigger.
No, that's okay.
Maybe evenally.
Yeah, at some point, I'm sure I'll branch out a little, but for now, it's just the U.S.
All right. The U.S. of A.
Yes.
Those cryptids. And yeah, this week she's going to join us in talking about the Allagash alien abductions. So, yeah, Kenzie, say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm really excited to be on this week's episode. Like Nikki said, I have a YouTube channel where I just talk about cryptids. I do also have a series where I talk about alien encounters, and you can find my episode on this next week. And then I also have a website where you can find all of my ghost hunting adventures as well, because your girl is very into the paranormal and all things creepy and weird.
Nice.
Oh my god. Yeah, if we do a ghost episode, we should definitely give you a buzz.
We should go and investigate it.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
I want to do that someday.
It's very fun.
Someday.
We should definitely go.
Yeah, because I forget, we were saying we should go somewhere,
Your levels were down, sorry.
No,
Go
I
closer.
know. Like in the Rhode Island area, because there's a bunch of stuff. Was it Rhode Island? Like Biltmore? I know.
Well, I mean,
That's
Rhode
there,
Island
but,
area is basically,
It's
30 feet?
all haunted.
Like, it's not very big, so
No,
I
I
guess,
know.
That's it. It's haunted.
Well,
the
there
end.
was something that, like, we would go, and then on the way, I don't know. I forget, but whatever. Anyways.
Whatever. It's cool. It's like ghosts and stuff, so you wouldn't understand.
No, I wouldn't. No.
But yeah, so, Allagash, aliens, cool. Kenzie, have you done, you've done an alien, you did, Betty and Barney Hill.
I did,
for your...
yeah. That was my
Yeah.
first alien one that I talked about.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And we did
We saw
Betty and
that.
Barney Hill, too.
I think our episodes came out around the same time, too, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, we're like,
Riding
I think
the same
we, like,
wave.
literally... Yo. Oh, man. But you actually went up there.
I
so...
did, yeah. It was
Yeah.
about a 2-hour drive from where I live, and it was like a really cold and like shitty day. And my roommate and I drove up, and like I stood in front of the abduction like marker, and right next to it is a hotel, and there were people staring at me the whole time, and people kept pulling over and like watching me from in their cars, and I was like, I fucking
not
hate
creepy.
this.
I could never be a reporter.
I know, I was like, this is not fun. These people are looking at me, and I feel threatened.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, because, like, she did, like, she recorded it right on the road, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, did you have to stop a lot?
Yeah.
Because, like, if there was, like, a motorcycle
Oh, yeah.
or something?
There was a lot of traffic, and I don't know if you watched it, but there was, like, a lot of times where I literally just, like, talked over it, and I was like, hopefully this is good enough and people can hear me, because I was like, if I stopped every time a car went by, I would never finish this.
Oh my god, yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
you're
I
just like
watched it.
screaming, I feel like at some points you're like, and Betty and Barney Hill!
Kind of, yeah. When I started to
Aliens!
hear a car coming, I would just start raising my voice, like, just a little bit at a time, so it wasn't, like, obvious that I was just yelling. But I was like, you have to be able to hear me at least a little bit.
Just, you know, it helps, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so...
And we had friends, Roop and Lindsay. They went and took a drive and went up there to find the sign.
And they listened to our podcast the whole time,
yep.
and I was just like, oh my god, we're special!
So special.
That's so nice. But, yeah, so, gonna talk about, you know what, this one also takes place in the 70s, so there's that.
Yeah.
So, and it's also New England,
It
I
is.
feel like that's the similarities done.
So there we go.
So, I'm gonna pop off a little bit now. So, it's 4 dudes. They went to Mass College of Art. They're all like students there, which I've been to Mass College of Art. It's a really cool school because it's like a high rise.
Oh.
It's interesting.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. I went there because I was super artsy fartsy in high school, and I went to have my portfolio reviewed.
Oh. What was the review?
What?
What was the review like?
Oh, it was just like they would look at your artwork and they'd be like, "Oh, this is nice. Oh, you have nice composition. Oh, that's cool."
Did you get good remarks on your...
Yeah, I guess I got... Well, like, they were holding, like, one that, like, art schools from, like, across the country were all there representing. But my favorite one was, I had, my friend, he's amazing. So good. Like, has a career as an artist now. But, like, he brought his portfolio to, Rhode Island School of Design, RISD table, and... they were the most rude motherfuckers. They literally went through his shit and was just like, this is a weak attempt at a good idea.
Oh my god, that's so mean.
Wow.
To like a 17-year-old. Like,
Yeah,
why would
that's
you
awful.
say that? That's so mean. So, fuck Rhode Island School of Design, man.
Yeah.
They're
Pretentious
douche nozzles.
assholes. Like, what the fuck?
I hate them. Anyways, okay, so...
Back on track.
Yes, so they're 4 art students, and they decided to take a trip to the Allagash waterways in Maine to do some fishing, canoeing, hanging out like buds do. So, 4 dudes, brothers Jim and Jack Wiener.
I was
Wiener.
wondering how we were gonna pronounce that, and I was writing
it's
it, and I
Wiener.
was like Wiener, and I was like, am I gonna say Weiner if I try to say it just to not say Wiener?
Oh no, I watched 2 videos to see how people said it. It was Wiener.
Oh.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes. So
Well, there you
they're
go.
actually twins too.
Yeah.
So, and they went with their friends, Charles Foltz and Charles Rack. Dude, okay, so it's 2 twins and then, you know, 2 people,
Charles.
2 with the same name. Okay, whatever. You got a whack-ass group of friends. So, the week of August 20th, 1976, they went up to Allagash, Maine. And they were, the first night, they were canoeing to, like, their camping spot, and they saw, like, a light in the sky, and as they were, what's it called? Docking their canoe? I don't know. Beaching their canoe. Like, there was a bunch of other campers there, and everyone saw this light in the sky. They're all like, oh, what the fuck? So... that was pretty weird. And then the second night, Jim, one of the twins, noticed a strange bright object in the sky that appeared for about 30 seconds and then vanished. And then 2 nights later, on August 20th, the men were fishing on a boat, a canoe, when the bright object appeared again. Chuck was the first to notice it, and the men noticed that it was very bright and similar to the fucking sun, apparently. So that's some bright ass shit.
Yeah.
So, Charles tried to, like, SOS with his flashlight. Like, I don't know, SOS. Is that what you do? I don't know. But suddenly the object shot out a bright light, which began following the men along the water. The men began to paddle back to shore, but the next thing they remembered was being on shore and the bright light vanishing. And the men thought that this was some strange-ass shit.
Strange-ass shit.
But, so before that they had gone out on the water, they actually built, like, this huge-ass fire so they could, like, kind of see where their campground was at, so they could, like, paddle back to it and be like, oh, this is where we made home. So one of the weirdest things was when they realized they were back on shore, their fire was, like, completely out. Like, this thing, like, they stoked this thing to be, like, burning for, like, 3 hours. It should not have gone out that quick. And, so, yeah. And then they noticed their fire was out, and the men felt very fatigued, and they went to bed.
Ooh.
Yeah, they spent 6 more days out in the wilderness, but nothing weird happened after that.
That's a long time to sit in the woods.
Right? Like, I'm all for, like, a weekend camping trip, but this is, like, what, basically almost 10 days that they were out there.
That's some wild ass shit.
It is.
Like,
oh my god.
Okay. Or
Plus,
6 days, yeah. But...
canoeing scares me because it's, like, so tippy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can you just get, like, a paddle boat or something like that? Like... Kenzie, was there anything else that you wanted to add to that? Like, or was that...
Well, so I mean, like I said earlier, we got most of the same stuff down. The only thing I noted that I thought was interesting was, so... I feel like I'm going to be skipping ahead a little bit. But Chuck, all his issues later, I guess, that we'll get to.
Yes.
Oh, Chuck and all his problems.
Yes.
That Chuck.
So when they originally, the first night that they saw the light in the sky, Chuck was later interviewed and told the person interviewing him that they went and reported it to a park ranger. And the park ranger told them that it was from the grand opening of a hardware store that was 75 miles away. And that's what they were seeing.
It was as bright as the sun. It was a...
They're like, hell yeah, hardware store. They go hard in Maine.
Yes, they go so hard for hardware in Maine.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I was like, even if it could have been like a light, like it's too bright. There's no way.
That's way too bright.
75 miles away, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no,
and that's like the one guy that was, having all his problems later on was the one to be like, sir, I don't know about that. I think you're incorrect.
Excuse me, sir, my notes suggest otherwise. Thank you.
Yeah,
but
like, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no hardware store that's got bright enough lights for that.
No, even, like, the spotlights at the airport, that wouldn't have been, from 75 miles away.
No, it's just, especially, like, if other people saw it, too, and it was, like, in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, unless you have a tiny sun.
Like a child, you mean? Like a tiny son?
Unless you have one son. One small son.
You just yeet him in the air and he just lights everything up.
It's like a little bundle of fireworks.
'Cause baby, you're a firework. So beautiful. But, alright, so, who took the fall? Was it Chuck?
What do you mean?
He had a fall and
it was Jim.
It was Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they did the hypnotic regression therapy. And
yes.
Chuck was like, I've never heard of this in my life. What's an alien?
Yeah. So Jim, one of the twins, he took like a pretty hard fall and like started having seizures and shit. And like after he started like with the seizures and stuff, he started to have like memories of basically like being abducted. And he eventually like shared his visions with renowned UFO searcher and author Raymond Fowler. And after which the group underwent hypnosis with a man named Tony Constantino, which that sounds like a mafioso man.
Yeah, it does.
Yo, Tony Constantino, he's gonna put me under.
He just goes like, he just waves his fingers in your face and you just fall asleep. They're like, well,
no, he does like the Italian hands, just like, hey.
You are hypnotized.
You're asleep now. Tell me about the aliens.
If I was gonna get hypnotized, that's how I'd want to be hypnotized.
I think that's the only way to be hypnotized.
I agree.
After I feed you the meatball.
And the meatball. It's a good. So yeah, they all underwent hypnosis, and like they like all kind of talked about, you know, seeing beings and blah blah blah. I don't know. I can't find my specific notes on it. Do you have specific that you want to pick up on right there?
Yeah. So it's not a lot, but 3 out of 4 of them, everyone but Chuck, Charles Rack, had a very specific memory of being taken on board a circular UFO and being probed and tested on by 4-fingered beings with almond-shaped eyes and, like, really relaxed, like, unmoving arms, which is really weird, and that's not, I feel like, I don't know, the description of the arms is not something you really, like, hear a lot in alien abduction cases. Like, the rest of it sounds pretty standard, like, you got sucked up, you got tested, you got, I don't know, let go. But, I don't know, that's, like, stuck with me since I was researching it, because I'm just like, what do you mean they had, like, weird relaxed arms? Like, what does that mean?
What? Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
are they testing you with their feet? Do aliens
like,
right? But they got
just
probed with their fingers.
They're
but
awkwardly
their arms
swinging their arms, like Weekend at Bernie, like
because
style.
Bernie.
Like,
yeah, I was just reading it and I was like, what does that mean? That's such a weird, like, peculiar detail to, like, to remember. And, you know, the twins and then the other Charles all remembered that very specifically. And then our boy Chuck was like, nah, never heard of it.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, like, in August of 2016, Chuck, he comes out on a phone interview saying, like, basically he's like, nah, it's not real. Didn't happen. I don't know what everyone's talking about.
It's like, what?
Well, I was reading that he, like, went along with it at first because he was in it for the money. And I was like, who makes money out of being abducted by aliens?
Right?
That's
like,
not a thing.
Like, I don't think that, like, people like Betty and Barney, like, ever, like, really financially prospered off of...
You get money from things like being hit by a car.
Yeah.
You get money from being abducted by aliens and probed.
I got abducted, pay me.
Yeah, right? Like, the aliens don't care. They're not giving you any money. I just thought that was so funny, because I was like, what do you mean you're in it for the financial gain, sir? Like, no one's gonna pay you for this.
Right?
Oh my god. So, I did, like, I watched this video, like, and they were trying to, like, kind of debunk it, like, if it was true or not, and they did talk about, like, how, you know, Tony Constantino, like, how he could have, like, hypnotized them and asked them the questions and could have potentially being, like, suggestive. That's why, like, so many of them had similar things. So it's like, you ask the first person, like, oh, what happened? And they're like, oh, I was surrounded by beings. And then the next person, when they're under hypnosis, you're like, oh, how many beings were around you? So it plants that.
Yeah,
like,
that's definitely fair. But I think,
I
don't know. I mean, You guys have watched my videos and you know me as a person, and I like to believe that everything is true.
I just want to believe.
I really, like, I mean...
Yeah.
Yes. I really do just want to believe.
No,
She just flipped her camera around to her I want to believe
X-Files
flag poster.
tapestry.
Yes. Tapestry. I'm like, flag poster. You're like, tapestry.
I feel wrong calling it a tapestry because it's literally like just like a sign, but
yeah, when I think of tapestries, I always think of like something like fancy, like macrame ass shit, you know, like
flowy patterns and like
paisley
tie-dye
patterns,
paisley mandala
tie-dye,
kind
mandala.
of.
Yeah,
and not an X-Files
but I think
reference.
Hey,
but I think it's still a tapestry because I have like a Killstar one, and it's a tapestry, but it's not like, you know,
tapestry.
It's not a mandala.
Well, I have this one behind my bed too. That's technically a tapestry, and it's all just cryptids.
I like that.
Thank you.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It reminds me of my shower curtain.
Oh.
That sounds so weird, but...
Wait, well, what's on your shower curtain?
My shower curtain is like, it's black and it's like, it has like all like these cute like cartoony spooky images.
Like
so it
that.
has like the Wolfman and like vampire
really
things.
Cool.
It was really cool. It was $80.
Yeah, this was $65, I think.
Oh my god. But that one's so cool.
Yeah, I bought it as a present for myself when we moved into this apartment we live in now.
Oh my god. That's why I bought my shower curtain as a present for myself when we bought the house. I was
like on the
like,
same wavelength.
oh yeah, I was just like, I need this. I don't care. It's $80. And then it's just like one of those websites where you're just like, oh, if you put in your email, you'll get $10 off your purchase. I'm like, yes, give me all the money I need off.
I often sign up for texts so I can get money off, and I keep getting texts from TGI Fridays. And they're all really off-putting. I don't like it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, why are they like weirdly sexually worded? Like,
actually, yes. Like, I didn't want to say it out loud because it's kind of gross, but they like sent out a text recently about their holiday pasta menu, and it said red, white, and creamy ? And I was like, excuse me? And it said something about holiday tortellini, and I was like, what is this?
Oh my god.
Please come in for our tortellini.
Red, white,
and creamy.
And I had forgotten that I signed up for the text too, and then it popped up on my phone, and I was like, excuse me?
How dare they?
Honestly.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Let me clutch my pearls here, TGI Fridays. How dare. Ugh. Nasty ass motherfuckers.
Really?
Oh my god. So, yeah, anyway, circling back to, I guess, you know, what we were talking about. So, yeah, so, let's see. Wiener. Yes.
Wiener.
Alright. So, yeah, in 1993, Fowler, who's Fowler? Charles Fowler?
No, Fowler's the ufologist.
Oh, the ufologist, yes. Ufologist. Ufologist. So, in 1993, Fowler, the ufologist, he wrote a book about the case. It's called The Allagash Abductions. And a storm of media attention followed, including appearances by the Allagash Four, as the public dubbed the four dudes, Wiener Brothers and all. And they appeared on the Joan Rivers Show and an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which, hello, Daddy Stack. I love Robert Stack so much. Like, I don't know, something about that man. But, Rack went on to say that we were compelled to stay together, all speculating that this thing could go into the millions of dollars for each of us, but we made very little.
Who told him that was going to happen?
I don't know. back to, like, what the fuck? Like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. Would there be, like, a movie deal? I don't know. Like,
maybe he was thinking that.
The only people I would think that you could maybe, like, possibly think you could get money from is, like, the government. But I'm like, the government has spent all their time trying to hide that UFOs exist until, like, the year 2020. So I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? Do you think that Oprah's going to come out of nowhere and be like, oh, you got abducted, here's $1 million?
I don't know. I don't
understand that mentality at all.
Yeah, I have no idea where that line of reasoning comes from.
No, me either.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in it for the abduction. Like, I don't want the money. Give me the abduction.
Take me to your leader.
Let's go.
But yeah, he must have thought that it would get, like, maybe, like, a book deal or, like, something that, like, would come out of it.
Yeah.
That's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a little far-fetched.
Oh my god. Oh, how'd you become a millionaire? I was abducted.
Yeah. I was abducted.
It's that simple. I'm like, Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. So basically, these 4 dudes, they were abducted. One of them says that they weren't. The rest of them are like, yeah, pretty sure we were. Yeah, I would like to think that they were taken away.
Yeah.
But if they were or were not, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've read stuff about people being, like, abducted in their dreams.
Yes.
And, like, having, like, I just got a book recently called Strange Things in the Woods, and there was this dude in it, and, like, his story that he submitted is, like, it's crazy and all over the place, and you can tell it's, like, kind of the ramblings of a madman, but in, like, a genius way. You can borrow it if you want. It's very good. But he was talking about how since he was a kid, he would have these nightmares where he was being, like, abducted by aliens all the time and feel, like, sleep paralysis, basically, and, like, but, like, he didn't actually go anywhere, but, like, he would have these dreams of it, and then one day he just got tired of it and, like, stood up to the aliens, and it got, like, real crazy, and he, like, killed one. And was like,
oh my god.
He was like holding the dead alien and was like, try me, I'll kill the rest of you, let me go. And then he never had another one of those dreams.
Weird.
And it was like, that's I feel like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's so wild, but I totally feel like that's pretty credible with people that suffer from sleep paralysis. Like, because, like, oh man, I don't know why, every time I watch a documentary on sleep paralysis, it's always at, like, 1 a.m. And then I'm, like, laying in bed, I'm like, I'm dying.
Sleep paralysis
is gonna happen to me.
So scary. One of my old roommates had sleep paralysis occasionally, and, like, she would tell us about it, and I'd be like, okay, dude, are you alright? I don't know how to help you.
I get it, too. Like, I actually recently had one. Like, this was, like, a couple months ago, and, like, Rich was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because, like, I was just, like, like, I would, like, because I'll moan, and, like, but basically there was, like, this really weird person being, and they kept trying to, like, go over to Rich and, like, hover over him. And I'm just, like, laying there watching it, and I'm like,
And were you, like, really awake?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's, like, the weirdest feeling.
So
I can't, like, I can never tell if I'm, like, awake or not, but, like, you know, it's my room. It's my room the way it is.
Right.
And, like, I can feel the dogs next to me. Right. And I can feel Rich next to me. And then, I remember, like, this weird thing, like, he, like, went to, like, the foot of the bed, and he, like, crouched down, so it was just, like, his, like, head part peering over the, oh my god, that's I'm sorry if I give you guys nightmares, but, yeah, and I kicked him, but I actually really kicked Diablo.
No.
Diablo, the sweet 9-pound chihuahua. And he's like,
Dee.
But
like, Mom.
I was just like, oh.
You're like, I'm sorry, I thought you were my sleep paralysis demon.
Oh, gosh.
But, like, yeah, and, like, like, that's what, like, woke Rich up, like, the mix of me, like, moaning and, like, Diablo going, oh, like, so, and he was just like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just gonna go back to sleep now, that was terrible, don't want that to happen again.
I don't know if I've ever had, like, actual, like, sleep paralysis, but I've had, like, these weird moments where, like, it's like you're just trying to open your eyes so bad and they won't.
Oh.
I don't know if that's ever, like, happened to
no.
either of you, but, like, it's really weird. Like, they'll open and then, like immediately shut, and I'm, like, trying so hard, and it's, like, not that I'm tired, like, I'm trying to wake up.
I don't know if that's ever
really
happened
weird.
to me. I feel like I usually don't have any weird, like, sleep stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, everything else is weird.
Yeah, no. I get, like, I have, like, the most vivid nightmares. Like, they're, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I read too many horror books and watch too many horror movies. But
I mean, I've had, like, pretty vivid nightmares, too.
Oh, man.
So.
No, it's, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
But I've never, like...
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight now. Thanks.
I don't know if I've ever necessarily had any, like, alien-type nightmares. Nothing, like,
do you guys remember that movie, oh my god, I was just talking about this, and I always want to say Session 9, but it's not Session 9, was it the... it's with,
what's it about?
What's her name? So it's about, like, aliens. Like, this whole town is, like, they go to, like, this therapist, and all of them kind of have this similar story about seeing this owl outside their window, and that, like, basically they're all abducted, and they're all under hypnosis, and then when they start going into, like, what happened...
Is it the fourth kind?
It is the fourth kind.
Yeah, I haven't seen
looked it up.
That's it. Oh my god.
I kind of want to watch it now.
It's actually really good. What is it? Mila Jovovich. That one.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, she's the therapist, and then, like, yeah, and they'll all talk about, like, this specific owl, and then all of a sudden, like, most of them, like, they'll just start, like, hyperventilating and shit, and you're like, oh. But
to watch that.
Yeah, I have to watch that. Have you seen the movie Dark Skies? I think that's what it's called.
Yes,
it's like the aliens
I saw that.
come for, like, a little boy, and there's, like, pigeons hitting their house, and, like, weird shit's happening, and then there's this big alien fight at the end.
I haven't seen that one.
I've watched it twice ever, and I always, like, I think about it, and I'm like, wow, what a good movie, and then I forget what it's called and don't watch it, because I can't remember, and then I Google it, and I go through a whole list of alien movies before I'm like, oh, it's that one, and then I don't watch it.
I think I always get Dark Skies confused with Fire in the Sky. I don't know if that's also an alien movie.
I think that is also alien stuff.
Yeah.
My roommate was talking to me about that the other night. Because we were sitting on out front of my house, and, like, we have, like, a swamp in front of our apartment complex, and because there's no trees right away, like, the sky is, like, super open, and there's a bunch of street lights on my street, but none of them work, so it's always very dark, and it's, like, the perfect, like, alien viewing moment, and I sit outside in the front of my house often and just look for UFOs, because that's who I am as a person. And my roommate came out and was talking to me about it. And recently, I did a ghost hunt with a friend of mine. I have, like, a little ghost hunting group that I go with. And we go, like, we try to go once a week, like, weather permitting, but it's getting cold now, so we haven't been going as much. And we went up to Portland to see my friend Katie. And we did this, like, alien summoning thing. And we're, like, trying to communicate.
Alien summoning?
Yes.
Like what does that entail?
Aliens. It was, like, a whole thing that we did, and we, like, opened this portal. We were, like, trying to communicate with aliens, and I am, like, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm very certain we succeeded, and it was fucking bonkers. And then I went home and told my roommates about it, and then we were talking about aliens all night the other night, and then my dad called me and was like, hey, you'll never guess what just happened. I was, like, walking the dog down the street, and I saw a fucking UFO, and I was like, what? I was like, can you go back and get a
What?
video for me? And he was like, yeah, totally. And he ran back to where he was walking my parents' dog and then sent me a video of this fucking UFO that was still in the sky.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Oh,
That's
wow.
so cool.
It's like we brought the aliens to New Hampshire, I think.
Yes,
oh my
definitely.
god. I bet it wasn't that hard to bring them to New Hampshire because they apparently like it
Yeah,
over
I was
here,
going to say,
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew, but New Hampshire's ranked number 3 on the list of the states in the United States with the most UFO sightings.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think Maine is like 4 or 5.
Yeah, Maine's in the top 5, I think.
Yeah, so they love it
They
here.
do.
I don't know.
I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of tree cover for them to, like, hide in.
That makes sense.
And a lot of
yeah.
drunk people
Yeah.
for them to take.
Yeah.
You know, New
True.
Hampshire also is number 1 in the country for drinking beer.
Nice.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That goes hand in
Yes, it
hand
does.
right there.
You'd be like, oh, this looks like a good state with a lot of drunk assholes
Yep.
and trees.
Take it away.
I always think it's so funny though because like people always like associate like aliens and alien abductions with like places like Roswell, like New Mexico and like Area 51 or like whatever, and then really it's like the Northeast is like
Yep.
in abundance with this shit.
Yeah.
Actually, what was it? I think this was like a month ago. We finished recording, and I went to go out to my car to leave, and I looked up at the sky, and I was like, I called her. I was just like, you gotta come outside and look at the sky right now. Holy shit. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is that in the sky? Because it was just like the most perfect, like, little orange,
Yeah.
like, bloop.
Yeah, but I think what was it?
It was Mars.
Yeah, it was Mars.
It was Mars, but
But it was,
it was so
it was
weird.
real
I've
weird.
never seen Mars look like that.
Well, you know what
Yeah.
was cool is when we were doing that alien summoning thing and like doing our investigation, we were doing like an Estes method spirit box, which is just when you do like sensory deprivation so that the person with the spirit box doesn't have any like outside bias and like only says like what they're actually hearing versus what they want to hear. And we were getting responses that were like specific to like talking about constellations that were specific to where we were standing and like in the directions that they were based on where we were facing, which was crazy because we were like, obviously whatever this is that we're talking to can see us and like see where we're standing, but it kept telling these they kept saying they were from the sky, but they kept telling us that they were from Mars, and that's where they were, like, watching us from, was Mars. And we were like,
That's
oh,
so weird.
Okay, Mars.
Oh my god. Martians?
Martians.
What's up?
Yeah, it was really
Oh my
cool.
God.
It was, like, a very neat experience, and now all I want to do is, like, talk to aliens more.
Dude, that's so crazy. Oh my god.
That
Have
sounds
you
so cool.
have you done like the sensory like sensory deprivation?
Like the
Deprivation.
tanks?
Deprivation? Like, yeah, or even like what you were just talking about, like how, like, what do you do to deprive whoever's talking to the alien senses?
So you do, like, and you can do this with, like, ghosts, too, which is, like, where we usually apply it, but we were, like, kind of applying it to both this time. You basically just have, like, noise-canceling headphones and something to cover your ears, like, plugged into your spirit box so that you can only hear what's coming through the spirit box. And we only do this sometimes. It depends on, like, the environment that we're in. But, like, you're supposed to also cover your eyes so that there's no outside influence on what you're hearing. So, like, if you can hear... So, like, if we were doing a spirit box session and I was like, what's your name? And, like, a really jumbled response came through. Like, because I just said, what's your name? I could be like, oh, that said Kevin. Or, like, oh, that said whatever. Because that's what I want to hear. But when you do the Estes method, it, like... it cuts all that out so that the person that's like shouting out what's coming through the spirit box can only hear what's coming through the spirit box, and there's no like correlation to them to like what's being asked.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that person doesn't hear the questions,
Exactly.
they only hear the answers.
Ah,
Okay. All right.
It's very cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
That is. Oh my god. That I I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know if I could handle that.
I
like, being
personally,
that person.
I don't like being the person that's using the spirit box. I would rather ask the questions and like put together the answers, because to me, like, not being able to see what's around me, especially when we're ghost hunting, like really wigs me out.
Yeah.
So I don't usually, I have done it, but I don't prefer to be the one in charge of that part. But it's freaky, but it's really cool. Like, 'cause you get really cool, just like solid responses, and you can kind of hear it better. Like the stuff that comes through, you can hear it better when it's going through like headphones instead of just like out into the air.
Yeah,
it's a little easier to hear through the static.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool. I don't know. I don't know. That freaked me out. I don't know. I'm like torn. Like, I'm like, I want to do it. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, yes, I do.
I feel like it's something that's definitely want cool to experience at least once. And then you can kind of be like, well, I hated that. I'm never going to do that again. Or you can do it again because it's fun.
Right?
Yeah. No, I definitely would be into that.
So, how many times or have you seen UFOs?
I have only seen a UFO like twice ever, and I like to think so. My dad was telling me a little while ago, and my dad is like a big, huge like paranormal super fan. He actually started taking me ghost hunting when I was 8.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He grew up in a haunted house in Amesbury, and
cool.
He was telling me recently that my Nana, his mom, was super into aliens when he was growing up, and like would constantly come home from work and be like, I saw another UFO, and like want to talk to him about it. And I'm like, I think at this point the aliens are like, this bitch wants it too bad, avoid her. Like, leave her alone, because I've only seen like 2 UFOs ever, and I'm like, I want more.
Oh my god, what's one of your experiences, and like where did it happen?
So we went to the drive-in in Milford to go see a movie, and I've heard that that's like a really common place where people see like weird shit happening in the sky.
I have heard that too. I don't know
why.
Where?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But we went and we went to see The Evil Dead, and we were watching the movie, and so we were facing the woods. Like, I don't know how to explain this unless you know the area, but we were on the second screen, and we were facing the woods, and we were all the way over on the side, and like where we had parked, we were like basically on the tree line next to it. And I was looking like on the other side, looking at the tree line on the opposite side of the screen, and there was this huge bright light that just like shot up, and then it like exploded, and then like sucked back in, and then like a oh my god, what is the word I'm looking for? A shooting star like shot sideways out of it, and then dropped into the tree line. And then I was like, huh, that was weird. And all the people who were with me saw it also, and I was like, do you guys just see that? And they were like, yeah, that was fucking, like, that was weird. And I was like, that was definitely a UFO, I'm convinced. So then I spent the entire rest of the night not watching the movie and looking at the stars instead, because I was like, please. And then there were a bunch of shooting stars. There was one that came up. There was a really bright light in the trees, and it was like too high that even at the angle I was at, it couldn't have been a car like passing on the main road, because it was too high up where like the trees were. And I saw a super bright light like go through the trees and kind of like scoop up out of the tree line on the top, and then it like shrunk down in size and turned into like a shooting star and shot like sideways in the opposite direction. And I was like, what is that? And then we listened to Men in Black by Will Smith the whole way home, and I just kept making everyone put it on repeat, and I was like, we have to listen to this. My planned Halloween costume this year was a Man in Black, and I did not get to wear it, because I didn't do anything, obviously, because of COVID, but I was like, I'm gonna save this, because this was very good.
Yeah. Oh my god, did you make the little pen memory stick
No, but
thing?
I did make a badge, and I just drew a pair of sunglasses and a mustache and a little bowler hat, and then I put, like, name and, like, age and blah, 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 and then redacted all of it. And I was like, this is funny.
So cool.
Nice.
Wait, so what's your agent letter?
I don't know, I didn't put one because I redacted all the information.
Oh. Let's see, what agent, because Agent K.
Yeah.
What, that's Tommy Lee Jones is Agent K.
Could be me.
It could be you. You're Tommy Lee Jones now.
We look identical. We look just like each other.
You do, you know, Now that you say it, the resemblance is uncanny.
I
So it's beautiful. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other cool alien shit or alien shit?
I don't know. I love alien stuff. I really do. But I feel like I don't have as much experience with alien stuff. Like, just, I don't think aliens are that interested in me as a person. But I have a lot of, like, ghost stuff, because ghosts are really interested in me as a person.
Right.
But, I don't know, maybe the aliens will listen to this and they'll go, oh, maybe we should give her a second shot, because she seems kind of sad that we won't show ourselves to her.
Well, and, yeah,
Like
so,
me.
what was it that, like, happened where, like, because somebody obviously announced that there were aliens this year.
It was the CIA,
And so
I
it's-
think.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like, can we have more info?
Continue. Go on.
Go on.
And
Because,
it's just like, nope, that's it. Okay.
yeah, because it's always personally, like, frustrated me that we don't know anything.
That no one
And it
shares
makes
any information.
No sense to me. Like, obviously, I'm like, if we, as human beings, are on a planet, and obviously other beings, animals, and whatever, I'm like, there has to be something out there, like something, somewhere. I'm like, and it doesn't make sense. And then I'm like, and then I just go back to, like, well, they probably don't want to come here because we suck.
Yeah,
so.
really. That's the shit that keeps me up at night, though, is because, like, I, like, as a small child, had so much curiosity, and now I'm an adult with the same amount of curiosity and, like, more resources at my fingertips, and I still have no answers.
Right.
And it drives me insane. Like, I'm like, have fully just, like, accepted the fact that I'm going to die before I get to know any of the answers to the questions I want, but it makes me crazy, because I'm just like, please.
Oh yeah.
I
No,
know.
I feel like we were happier when we knew less, because, like, now, like, the more that we try to learn, it's like the less we actually know, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
yeah.
so it's just like that childlike ignorance was really tight, and now you're just like,
Yeah.
I should know these things. People should tell me, because I'm a grown-up now.
Yeah. Well, and then I forget, like, I think it was the guy that announced it, whoever was like, they don't want to, what was it? I can't remember the exact wording, but it was basically like, the aliens don't want to come here.
I don't blame that.
But pretty much.
Yeah.
Because, like, we are too far gone, or whatever.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm pretty sure that
Ow,
either I read that or
thanks.
somebody told me that, but I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, I
They
guess.
got a point.
Well, and because, like, to me, I'm like, okay, so I go obviously back to, like, movies, obviously, because I mean, we don't know a ton, and obviously the only info is people seeing UFOs or maybe being abducted, and then we have, like, your, movies who try and portray what these could be like, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously they have the technology to come here if they have came here, so then it's like, why don't we? Do we have that? Like, what, like, that makes me curious too, because I'm like, what actual technology do we have from them, if we have any?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, because they have to be somewhat, like, super technology, unless they're literally, like, close galaxies,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
Or if they're just, like, living on Mars secretly somewhere, like, in, the
center of it.
I do wonder that too. I'm like, I wonder if there's, like, actual planets that, like, the aliens live inside.
Have you guys heard the conspiracy theories about there being hollowed out mountains in national parks that are actually caves for aliens to live in? It's a very it sounds crazy, but when you really, like, look into it, it's very compelling.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, I don't know if you know what the missing 411 is, but it's like all of the people who go missing in national parks every year.
Yeah,
and it's the like big huge thing that David Paulides put together because he like wrote like 7 novels about it. But one of the big theories that was like that came out of his work was that the US government is working with the aliens and have provided them these hollowed out alien bases inside of mountains and national parks, and has given them a place to do their research, and that the people that go missing in the national parks end up either being test subjects or like working for aliens in these bases. And then with the missing 411, there's like people who will disappear and then reappear like 6 months later, like hundreds of miles from where they were last seen, and it's like a 3-year-old kid, so there's no way he walked there, and like shit like that.
Right.
And they have this theory that like those were people that the aliens were done with, and instead of disposing of them, they just plop them back somewhere else because there's never any like answers. Like this child, there was actually a kid who disappeared and was found like I think like 30 or so miles from where he went missing, like up on the top of a peak of a mountain, and he had died of exposure, but he had been up there for 6 months. And he was like clean, and like his shoes were clean, his clothes were clean, he had food and water in his stomach, and he had just died recently when they found him. It's weird. Crazy. It's one of my favorite conspiracy theories because I love to think that there are cave aliens like living in national parks.
Oh my god. Yeah. Like, so what national parks and when can we go?
All of them.
Yeah, so all of them?
Literally all of them.
Start digging now.
I know, right?
Yeah. Just go with like a trowel. I'm like, I'm here.
And it's funny too because the like Appalachian Mountains are like a hot spot for like weird, like it's like a huge area of high strangeness, and there's like a lot of like alien stuff. There's a lot of cryptid stuff that happens there, and like it is like the zone for that stuff, but it also has a huge cave system, and like that's where it all kind of like takes place. So it's weird. It like kind of is there to like kind of support that theory that like that stuff's happening, especially with like, I don't know if you guys have seen Hellier. It's a docu-series about cave goblins. It's very good.
No, I want to watch it.
You should definitely watch it. It's amazing. I actually talked about it in my very first YouTube video because it was kind of what inspired me to start doing it. And they start focusing in that general area in the Appalachian Mountains in Kentucky, talking about these weird goblins where these townspeople were just like, oh yeah, I see these weird little alien creatures all the time. And I'm like, great, so they live.
Wait, I remember this episode. Yeah. Yes.
And I guess they just live in the caves, and I'm like, yep, that checks out.
Dude. Oh my god. Like, that, okay, so, like, you just said, like, how, like, Appalachia is, like, a super hot spot. Like, is it more so a hot spot than, like, the Rocky Mountain
I think, yes.
area?
From what I've seen for, like, a lot of different cryptids, like, doing research and stuff on them, I've seen that the Appalachian Mountains are, like, kind of more active, and I don't really know why.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Like,
because sometimes I like
what's
to think
so
it has
special
to do
and different
with, like, ley lines and like what's happening in that area, but that wouldn't really like make sense in that case because ley lines go all across the United States, so there's like not really a spot that they're like not in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be like pretty inconsistent if that was it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe the Rockies are as active as the Appalachian Mountains. I don't know. I like, from what I've gathered in my research, they're just like, the Appalachian Mountains are just like bonkers. Like shit's just wilding out there.
Well, fuck. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, I just got so thrown off because I'm not used to hearing someone talk and, like, us flatlining over here. I was just like,
yeah, no.
I just looked over, I'm like, is nothing happening?
I know that, yeah.
I'm like, oh
no. I
no.
saw that earlier, and I was like, wait, it's because...
Yeah.
Kenzie's
on a
talking.
different wavelength. But, yeah. I don't know. Yes, okay.
So
Good.
yes, okay.
All right. So thank you guys for coming to visit us, and thank you so much, Kenzie, for
Yes, thank
being
you.
with
Thanks
us.
for having me.
And can you tell the listeners where we can find you and all of your websites and stuff?
Yes, so there's a couple different places. You can go to my Instagram. It is at CryptidBaddie, and I can spell that for you. It's CryptidBaddie. And I also have a link tree under the same name, and that's also the same name as my YouTube and my Twitter. It's like very consistent. And in my link tree, you can also find my paranormal information too. So it's all kind of in the same place.
Cool.
Hell yeah. All right. So yeah, go like her, go follow
Yes.
her. Be like, "Oh my god, you're so cool." I'm going to tell the aliens to abduct you
Please
because I know what
Please do.
Merry Christmas.
I would love it.
We sent the aliens.
Put it out in the universe.
So yeah, thank you guys for visiting.
Thank you.
And you can find us on Instagram at New Strangeland Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter where we're actually posting for once at New Strangelands, and you can email us at newstrangelandpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, slip and slide right into those DMs. So good. So yeah, I'm Nikki,
And I'm Karyssa.
and that's
And I'm
Kenzie.
Kenzie.
And thanks for visiting New Strangeland.